Chapter 810, Chang Fan Requests to Cooperate. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Fang Yuan inquired the land spirit about the arrangements of the Dongfang tribe, Gu master captives. Fang Yuan had killed Dongfang Qing Yu and many others, but he still had about 1 to 200 Dongfang tribe survivors. The land spirit replied that she had temporarily set up a prison underground, nearby a Rockman tribe. She then asked if these captives were to be sold. These people were not easy to control and make use of. They would not obediently listen, and forcing them to refine Gu, like hairy men, would be careless. It could instead result in those that were seeking death to sabotage the refinement and cause problems. Fang Yuan shook his head and instructed, "First, take away all the mortal Gu on them and keep them in confinement. Give them a little food every day, as if they are pets being raised. I have other uses for these captives, but there is no hurry." "Yes, master." "How many immortal essence stones do I have left?" Fang Yuan asked. 137. The land spirit immediately replied. Fang Yuan nodded. Unknowingly, the quantity of his immortal essence stones had once again passed 100. The biggest reason was because of the increase in price and quantity of the guts Gu traded. Every month after removing the shared profits, Fang Yuan earned 92 immortal essence stones in pure profit. Thus, going above 100 had become easy. Fang Yuan had also instructed the land spirit to pay attention to Treasure Yellow Heaven, buying any cheaply sold fox groups in order to raise them in Hu Immortal Blessed Land. In this way, he would be making use of the specialty of Hu Immortal Blessed Land and increasing its foundation. Little Hu Immortal had taken action a few times and bought 2 to 3 fox groups, and if not for that, the amount of immortal essence stones would be even higher. Having a monopoly on the business of guts. Gu, where there was a lot more demand than supply, it was easy to earn immortal essence stones. Fang Yuan thought for a while before putting aside 20 immortal essence stones in preparation for unexpected situations, and 70 immortal essence stones to turn into green grape immortal essence. In the series of battle to seize the wisdom path inheritance, he had completely used his previous 77 beads of green grape immortal essence. It needed to be urgently replenished. He gave all the remaining immortal essence stones to Little Hu Immortal to purchase large amounts of Gu refinement materials, and also asked her to particularly focus on the refinement of Starthought Gu. "I can't sell oil water. I plan to use it in the earlier stages of the refinement path convention. Nor can I sell air bubblefish. They are needed to raise the production of starlight firefly gum. Literature carps are precious, but their quantity is rather few. I need to wait for the proper buyer, but eerie fire dragon pythons, regretful spiders, and dragonfish are in huge quantities. They can be turned into business projects, especially dragonfish. They can be directly sold." Fang Yuan thought inwardly. These 3 resources had appeared at a good time. Up to this point, Fang Yuan only had one source of revenue. That was the guts Gu trade. Owning a monopoly business was simply like owning a goose that laid golden eggs. But it was only one business after all, and the production of guts Gu was limited. Fang Yuan had to be very careful in how he used his immortal essence stones. Although he gotten past the initial dangerous state from when he had just become Gu Immortal and now had established his foothold, balancing his income and expenditure. However, he did not have additional capacity to progress further. Currently, Fang Yuan simply did not dare to refine immortal Gu. He had insufficient foundation. Fang Yuan needed to be constantly ahead. He had to get rid of his immortal zombie body and revive, deduce all kinds of Gu recipes, killer moves, deal with all sorts of enemies, and multi-cultivating wisdom path, ensuring no shortcomings in all aspects. Just a single source of revenue could not satisfy his ever-increasing needs. "If I can operate these 3 businesses, it would be like I have extra support. The earnings of immortal essence stones would satisfy my current needs, as well as greatly speed up my progress in all aspects." Dongfang tribe was, after all, a super force with a strong foundation. After plundering it, my future prospects have immediately broadened. Fang Yuan sighed and had the thought of soul-searching Dongfang Changfan again. These economic projects were Dongfang tribe's business secrets. For instance, how to group up eerie fire dragon pythons and greatly increase their reproduction, how to raise dragonfish, what to feed them, which environment is most suitable, what to do if they got sick. To form a source of revenue was very difficult. It involved many aspects and everyone would have their own tricks of the trade and secrets. Back then, to cultivate star fragment grass, Fang Yan had to purchase the insights and experience of a few star path Gu immortals, and also pay some immortal essence stones. As Dongfang tribe's first supreme elder, Dongfang Chang Fan surely knew the business secrets of Dongfang tribe. His soul was an enormous treasury, and its value was certainly not limited to the wisdom path inheritance. Thereafter, Fang Yuan attempted to get these business secrets in his fourth soul search. However, what he obtained this time was Dongfang Chang Fan's possession technique. Not only the original version Dongfang Chang Fan obtained in True Inheritance Secluded Domain when he was young, but also the method he had modified, as well as the method of extracting origin cores of Gu immortals of the same bloodline to immediately advance to Gu immortal. I can revive using this method. It requires people of the same bloodline. Is that little brother of mine still alive? He is a ready-made possession target, but even if he is dead, it doesn't matter. I can still use blood path methods on a woman to give birth to the next generation. But this possession method will anger heaven and earth. The resulting heavenly tribulation and earthly calamity will be terrifying. The main reason for Dongfang Chang Fan's fall was due to this. Moreover, if I possess someone, even if I advance to Gu immortal, my new body won't have the second aperture. The second aperture's value was enormous. Fang Yuan did not want to give it up for the time being. Now, Dongfang Chang Fan's soul saw Fang Yuan was moved and suddenly broke its previous silence, resonating once again as it spoke. You are an immortal zombie. It will be difficult beyond belief for you to regain life. Your cultivation has stopped and it will forever be at this level. The possession technique is extremely suitable for you. Of course, I now know this method provokes the envy of heaven and anger of earth, and is extremely dangerous. But I can improve the method to hide from heaven, and you can also possess a mortal to reduce the anger of heaven and earth, thereby reducing the might of the calamities and tribulations. You are seeking death if you directly use this possession technique. I am the best example of it. But I now have the most precious experience to improve the method, and I can definitely succeed. In fact, if not for you, I would have already succeeded. How is it we can cooperate? Dongfang Chang Fan proposed cooperation to Fang Yuan. He could sense Fang Yuan wanted to revive, and in fact there was no immortal zombie that did not want to regain life. Not waiting for Fang Yuan to speak, he continued, "It will benefit both of us if we cooperate, while it will result in harm if we are divided. What are you still worried about? I am merely a soul. Do you think I can still harm you?" While speaking, Dongfang Chang Fan was constantly agitating Fang Yuan. There was a vague hint of goading him into action. Fang Yuan smiled. As expected of Dongfang Chang Fan, "I thought your silence meant that you had completely admitted your defeat. I hadn't thought that the moment you saw hope and an opportunity, you'd immediately latch onto it. I should learn from this." "Oh, I have already said that you and I are the same kind of people. We both have lofty ambitions and aspirations." The soul resonated. However, Fang Yuan changed the topic. "Precisely because we are of the same kind, I cannot let you live. Don't worry, once I extract everything of value out of you, I will destroy your soul and make sure it completely disappears from the world. People like us, the fewer there are, the better." Dongfang Chang. Fan's soul was stupefied. He had not expected Fang Yuan's killing intent towards him would be so deep and firm. He resonated intensely, not giving up, as he forced a laugh. "Ha ha ha, you cannot fool me. You are already interested." Fang Yuan agreed. "I am interested. I believe you definitely have the ability to improve this possession technique because you have master-level attainment in Blood Path and Phantom Path, Grandmaster level in Wisdom Path, and also the most precious experience of using the possession. There is an extremely large gap between my attainment and yours, and I am sure it is impossible for me to improve this technique even if I have your Wisdom Path inheritance. The attainment levels of using Gu were divided into 5 main levels: Ordinary Master, Grandmaster, Great Grandmaster, and Supreme Grandmaster. Master was the level when one's use of Gu worm advances to the level of an art. This level could only be reached if one had abundant talent or constantly trained and increased their accumulation. Grandmaster level was when one had a very profound grasp of their path. With their deep foundation, they could use inductive reasoning to utilize their own path's methods to make use of the specialty traits and advantages of other paths. Dongfang Chang. Fan had attainment of Wisdom Path Grandmaster, Flying Quasi-Grandmaster, Space Path Master, Soul Path Master, Enslavement Path Master, and Blood Path Master. Fang Yuan had attainment of Blood Path Grandmaster, Strength Path Grandmaster, Refinement Path Quasi-Grandmaster, Flying Quasi-Grandmaster, Enslavement Path Master, and Transformation Path Master. As for Soul Path, Space Path, Time Path, Dream Path, and others, he was only at ordinary level, and for Phantom Path, he had not even touched upon it. Generally speaking, all Gu immortals had at least master-level attainment in flying, because flying was extremely important, and even if they had not grasped it while they were mortals, after becoming Gu immortals, they would definitely spend a lot of time to study and master flying ability. Fang Yuan had Grandmaster attainment in 2 paths, but one was from his previous life's 500 years of accumulation, while the other was gained from using the superiority of his rebirth, taking constant risks, and having fortuitous encounters. Everyone had their own specialties. Fang Yuan's attainment levels were not enough to deduce and improve the possession technique, but Dongfang Changfan was a specialist in it. It was due to this that Fang Yuan could not do it, while Dongfang Changfan could achieve it. Thus, he had confidence in persuading Fang Yuan and requesting cooperation. Soul Search could only give memories, secrets, and so on, but it could not provide attainment levels. Attainment levels were a person's unique thinking, their emotional experiences, their insights and experiences of using Gu and so on, summed up and condensed. They were their comprehension of the great Tao of heaven and earth. Currently, there was only one method to acquire the attainment levels of others: by successfully exploring their dream realm. Fang Yuan knew he could gain extraordinary benefits if he cooperated with Dongfang Changfan, but he had an even greater fear of the consequences of working with this person, Dongfang Changfan. If he cooperated with this wisdom path Gu Immortal, who knew how he would be plotted against and betrayed. This was especially the case because Fang Yuan was the true culprit of the collapse of 88 True Young Building. The external situation was extremely bad, and if Dongfang Changfan learned of this and made use of it, he certainly could cause Fang Yuan to die a terrible death.